Hi, I'm the chair of the food festival for the International Food Festival. So it's a Borderless World Volunteers organised event that gathers people around food and culture. But this year, obviously, it's not going to be taking place because of COVID. So what we thought we would do was put up some videos of us cooking our favorite dishes or just trying out new recipes. And then everybody could participate and make their own videos. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing here today. So I'm making a chocolate tahini tart with crunchy salt. So it's Alison Roman's recipe from her recipe book called Dining In. And so I'm French and Canadian, so I don't actually cook any foods from those nationalities. So I thought I'd just make, I guess chocolate tart kind of works, but with a bit of a riff on it. So she uses tahini. I'm going to use tahini because I have some here, but you can use peanut butter or almond butter or any type of nut seed butter. So yeah, now I'm going to measure out the ingredients and then put everything together. So I'm going to start with the tart. So the tart, it has dark cocoa powder in it, and then I'm going to cook that, and then I'm going to make the filling and put the filling in the tart, and then let it rest for an hour. Yeah, and then we'll see how it goes. So we kind of debated me doing this video with a French accent the whole time, like this, but then I honestly could not be bothered, so you won't have to suffer through that. Yeah, I think it will also be better for you guys and my roommates who are trying to study at the same time as I'm doing this. I don't really know how they're gonna do that, but anyway, so now I'm measuring out the ingredients for the tart, the crust. So it's flour, unsweetened cocoa powder, confectioner's sugar, or powdered sugar, salt, and 1 stick of unsalted butter melted. So this is what it should look like. It kind of looks gross, let's be honest, but I'm sure it'll be good. I trust her. And so then I'm gonna press this into the pan. So once you've mixed everything together, you can get out the pie dish. Okay, so you should have something a bit like this. She says it should go up the sides. I think mine might be a bit too thin in spots, but you know what? This is what we're gonna go with. So now you just need to put it in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Because it's already brown, you won't see it be ready because it's gonna already be brown before you put it in. So you kind of have to just look at it and see if it's becoming really dark, and in that case, if you press the center, it should be firm and opaque, not squishy or greasy looking. And then you have to remove from the oven and let cool. So once I'll have taken it out of the oven, I will start making the filling. So the pie crust is done, I think. So it turns out it's actually really hard to know when a pie crust is done. So this is what it looks like. You actually can't see anything. Okay, so now we're going to make the filling while that cools down. So this takes place in 2 steps. So I've measured out the ingredients already. So you've got 1 cup of cream, which you're going to put to simmer in a saucepan over medium heat with honey. So 1/4 cup honey, then 1 cup cream. So it calls for heavy cream. I'll put like the recipe will be somewhere for you to find it. So yeah, we're gonna put that to simmer over here. So while that's simmering, you gotta measure out the chocolate, which I've already done, and you just put it in a bowl. So this is all the chocolate that has to be chopped, but not so precisely. So yeah, I'm just gonna make a few of these bits a bit smaller. So it has to be dark chocolate. I just took the cheapest one I could find, which wasn't, she calls for at least 68% cacao, but mine is definitely less than that. I think it's 50%, but this is what we got. And then put the tahini in the bowl as well. So I'm using tahini. This is actually a lot of tahini. I've never used this much tahini in one recipe, I think. But you can, like I said, you can use almond butter, peanut butter, cashew butter, anything you want really. But if you are using tahini, this is the one I used. You can find it at Mashalobo. And this is the one actually that my parents used back in France and that we find. And so I really like it. I think it's the best. But they're like, honestly, any tahini will do. Just make sure you buy one that's original tahini, not a like super fancy kind of like same kind of pot as an almond butter or something, because that'll be super expensive and really not as good. And then you can add the salt. So once your cream looks like this and it's nice and foamy, you don't want to bring it to boil because if not, it'll take too long to cool down. You just kind of pour it over the chocolate, and she says to let it sit for a few minutes without touching it, so that the chocolate melts. Okay, so now that I've let it sit for a bit, you've got to use a spatula to kind of mix it all together. And she says you've got to use a bit of elbow grease, so until no pieces of chocolate remain. So for those of you who don't know, elbow grease is an expression to say that you really got to work at it. But this doesn't seem like it's going to be too complicated. So this is what it should look like. It should be super, super glossy. Forms some ribbons when you pour it down. Gotta make sure I'm not gonna pour this onto my computer. And so yeah, you can see no like bits of chocolate remain. It's super nice. And then you gotta take your cooled tart case. It's not that cool. It's a decent amount of cool. Just put it there. Yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine. And then you just pour the chocolate right in. And then, of course, the best part will come. The only thing I don't like about these spatulas is they're actually too good of a job. That means that usually there's like nothing left. But I'm gonna leave some almost on purpose. So I'm just gonna show you guys what should look like. So this is what my tart looks like.